Okay. Hey.
It's like no game tonight.
Well, we'll give Michael a few minutes and see what is going on there. Let me just go ahead and do this. Let's say okay. Okay. I believe that we were aware that James was going to be out. Oh, and I just saw. Okay. Sorry, just now. Okay. Michael said he's going to be a couple of minutes late, and we had the message that James was going to be out because of having to travel this week. I believe he and his family had to go out west for a funeral. So we hope they have safe travels on their way. Michael will be along in a few minutes. And in the meantime, I guess we can start with a bit of a recap from last week. Hello, everyone. I am DM Galabond. It's Thursday night, 8 o'clock, and that must mean it is time for the Sword Coast Chronicles. And tonight, we are in session 25 of our game, guys. You believe that this particular game has been going for 25 sessions?
Yes. Crazy. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. And in that time, we have learned about a cult of the dragon, and the party gave chase to them for a while. And then the party got attacked by river pirates, and then they met some friendly, maybe, druids who claim that the river pirates are part of a cult that worships Hydra, who is apparently some elemental force of water. And the druids invited them to their nice tower where they are preparing for a nice ritual. And they met the nice leader of the druids, a fine, upstanding gentleman named Elizar Dryflagon, who has but one wish, and that is to burn the cult of evil elemental water with the fire of righteousness. And he asked the party to spend the day before the ritual traveling around to various different camps on the side of the hill, at the top of which sits the tower, and find out who is pure of heart and perhaps who is not. And he gave them a bag full. Curiously, he gave them a bag full of green pine cones. And all they've been able to determine is that the pine cones have some sort of magical dwemer on them. They radiate with some kind of magic, but it's not quite clear exactly what it is at this point. And it's a faint magic. It's not like an overpowering magic. So, but what they're supposed to do is if apparently the party is supposed to use their own judgment about who is pure of heart and who is not. And when the party finds people that they believe are not pure of heart or pure with the cause of the ritual, they are to give them these pine cones and give those people instructions to hold the pine cones aloft and speak the words. And apparently, the pine cone will then determine whether they are pure of heart or not in some fashion that the leader did not care to explain more fully. What we notice, viewers, what you will notice on the screen is that last week the party made some preemptory and, in some cases, definitive, and in some cases, kind of guesswork markings about each of these little camps. The red X's are where they think people that are no good are. The green checks are where they think that people that probably are of good heart and are allied with them are. Um, they know the most about these two camps down here. They spent the night with these druids that have the two elk and the horse Rusty. And in the morning, they talked to these two supposed druids, and Brock was able to commune with this brown bear who basically relayed to him that the supposed druids here had captured him and had mutilated him by pulling out some of his claws. So they don't think those guys are quite on the level as druids. These guys have a couple of wargs with them, so they're probably not great news. These folks here appear to be druids for all intents and purposes. These are two humans that, well, they seem there to be here for a cure, hoping that they are going to be able to be cured of a curse, and the curse is lycanthropy, at least to the best of the knowledge of the party. And they probably haven't made up their minds about these folks here. But when we finished off our session last time, they had just been talking to this lovely woman, this lovely elf woman who played the fiddle, who had been brought in as apparently entertainment for the evening's ritual, and she had two sprites with her. And the party I believe the party had decided that they thought she was on the up and up, but they thought things were going to get really dangerous, and so they convinced her to leave. And as she left, she handed them 2 scrolls, and so they now have these 2 scrolls that they can use. And the 3 of you guys, if you don't have if none of you have those scrolls in your inventory because you think that maybe Mulek had them, well, if they come up and we need them tonight, we'll just hand wave that and say that, oh, one of you guys has that, and hopefully one of you guys are able to actually use magical scrolls and read them. So that would be I think actually one of you does, because one of you has spellcasting. So that should be, at least one of you has spellcasting. So you should be able to do that. So, gentlemen, with that little recap out of the way, welcome viewers, welcome everybody. Thank you, Doors of Fear, for bringing the raid. How would you like to proceed? It is approximately mid-morning. You've gone around to several of these camps. I don't think you visited all the camps yet. What sort of things do you want to get up with yourselves, your bad selves, this day?
Testing 1, 2. Am I coming through loud and
Yes,
clear?
you are. You are coming through loud and clear.
Do I sound good?
You sound, yeah, you sound clear and audible. Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
I was double checking. I've been having fun playing with my boom mic that I got a couple days ago. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different.
Just making sure.
Yeah, a little bit of a different voice quality, but you sound okay. Good.
Good. Brock, what do you think we should do? Should we talk to these guys down the hill and see what's going on?
Yes, I think so.
Ballinger, what's your 20 on that one?
I mean, it
These
wouldn't
people
hurt.
here, or these? Yeah, we need more people on our side. Either we talk to this little group here, or this group. I know we haven't filled out these people yet, but
Oh yeah.
What did the bears?
The one straight to our south is the only one we haven't encountered yet, right?
That is the only one that you all have not marked. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know that, I don't think you guys have actually talked to all of these groups, but you had enough information, at least in your minds as players, you had enough information to make a decision about them. You can certainly go back and talk to some of them and change your mind if you want to, but this one here is the only one that you haven't indicated one way or the other.
Remind me what we saw when we passed. I remember you said something, but I can't remember what you said.
When you pass this group here.
Yeah, you said we looked into the camp and we saw something, but we gave them a wide berth.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. That's going to be the It is there, Scarlet Mountain Hall, and then their camp is okay. It looks like there is a druid and 3 rangers. The druid appears to be female, and the rangers appear to be gentlemen, and so they are there, kind of minding their own business around their fire.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Mulek's idea was to go up top and then work our way down. We got the one to our south, but we also need to talk to the what are we calling these guys? The orange line.
I'm sorry.
They were werewolves? Were they werewolves?
We didn't know exactly what lycanthropy that they we don't know what they are, as in what they change into. We just know that they had lycanthropy.
And
yeah,
the
we need to find a reason.
Yeah, the conversation
Go ahead,
that those two guys were having with each other indicated that they were trying to get rid of the lycanthropy. One of them had mentioned that he had to spend the last 2 full moon cycles away from his family, for fear of what would happen, and he was doubly concerned because of that fact that he's going away at those times. His wife, he fears his wife is starting to suspect that there's another woman in his life. So, this curse is causing all kinds of problems for him. The other one allowed us how he, is ready to be rid of this curse as quickly as possible. So
you look under the impression that their cure, aka cure to it, is to sacrifice them.
Yeah, that's why we were saving them for last. We were thinking of ways to try to talk them into, because in their minds they probably think that this is their saving grace, but we need to try to figure out a way to talk them joining us.
Okay. All right.
Captain Charisma might have an idea. Okay, Falliger. This nice ranger lady and these 2 humans down here.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. She's the druid is a half elf, and then the 3 rangers, there is 1 human woman and 2 human men. Okay. It would help if I actually read the description they gave me instead of just looking at the map.
Also, Gal, I think my token's MIA, unless I just can't find it.
Nope, you're right there under Casper. There you go. Right here. I'm going to ping it for you.
Hey, Falliger, you think you can turn on that lady charm you got and might be able to charm this woman into giving us some answers or working with us?
Which woman are you talking about?
Wink, wink. This nice, pretty half-elfin druid down here, man. That we passed on the way up here.
Well, I can't make any promises, but yes, I'll give it a try.
Falliger's nickname is Captain Charisma.
Okay.
Just a Thaldor, anyways. Start calling him Captain C. See if he catches on.
Okay.
So yeah, let's.
If you guys are going to head that way, you can go ahead and move on down there. For right now, I'm just going to take Mulek and I'm going to take Casper and I'm going to leave them up here by this fire. And if James is somehow able to join us this evening, we can bring him in. Otherwise, he'll just be off to the side for the evening. All right. So, yes, as you step up, they look around and the ranger here sort of steps out of the way. And you can tell that these rangers, they all have kebabs. And they're kind of roasting their kebabs at the fire. And this druid, she is working on looks like she's not exactly whittling, but she's working on something. She's sanding a little wooden carving of something that she has apparently made. And she looks up as you guys walk in, and she says, Oh, welcome, gentlemen, welcome. I am Lighten. How may I help you?
Well, we couldn't help but smell those delicious kebabs over that fire you're cooking. And we thought maybe we'd join you if that was all right.
Oh, well, you are welcome to join us. I'm afraid that the kebabs are the last of our provisions before the ritual tonight. We travel light, and we do not. We are going to have to hunt for our supper, but you can join us, and if you have your own food, cook at our fire, or if you just wish to um, join us for conversation, that is fine.
Yeah, we were just more looking to hang out and get to know some of the people. We're new around here, and we're just kind of asking what to expect for the festivities, if you will.
Oh, well, the during the day, I expect that we will have a few more of our brothers and sisters in the circle of the Scarlet Moon that will join us. And then this evening, we will have a ritual. I understand that an absolutely marvelous fiddle player has been brought in for entertainment. And in fact, last night at the fire, I just was remarking to my friend Malin, and she was saying, she and I were saying, how lovely the fiddle sounds. And we are so looking forward to that. Um, Bjart and Orm, they will try to make you think that they don't dance, but they are lovely dancers. And so we are hoping that uh, they will dance with us tonight at the festival. And the three rangers, they kind of look at each other a little bit, and they're kind of looking over at you, and they don't respond with much of an expression, and they don't say anything.
Yeah, well, that sounds nice. Where I come from, they say if you're going to have a festival, you better have a fiddler in the band.
Oh, true, true, true. And where do you all come from, I may ask?
We come from up north.
Oh, up north, up north.
Yeah.
Are you down from the Dale by chance?
A little bit near to the coast, to be honest.
Oh, okay, from up near Luskin, perhaps then.
Oh yeah. It's we like it up there. It's pretty nice.
Yes. Well, it's going to be a cold winter, they say.
Well, I like it cold. I don't know about you, but something about that snow that just so majestic.
Well, snow has its place. I tend to think that the best place for snow is Icewind Dale, and that's why I'm not there.
Well, the best thing about living in a cold environment is it's always nice to have someone next to you at night when it gets cold.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Uh, we druids, we always have the flame of the holy fire in our hearts, and we have our beloved animal companions that will huddle with us and keep us warm.
So, tell me a little bit about this ritual. Well, I mean, what do we expect? Do we have to do anything to participate, or what are the rules?
Oh, The rules are quite simple. Be pure of heart and have the health and restoration of the land in your thoughts while the ritual is being conducted. Because you see from here that Wicker Giant looks, well, it looks quite majestic, tall and strong, but every single one of the sticks that makes it up is dried and old, and some of them are rotten, just like the hearts of those who do evil in our land. And the flame, the holy flames, will ignite it at the height of the ritual and send up the light, the pure, pure light of those whose hearts are pure.
Praise the holy flame.
Praise the holy flame indeed. Now, you all don't look like you follow the ways of the druids, but are you here to aid in the ritual? Did you answer Elizar Dryflagon's summons?
Indeed, we did. You know, up till about 2 weeks ago, I was just a loss with no purpose. And then I saw the light.
Oh,
And now here we are.
oh, blessings on you. Blessings on you, child. This is wonderful. And your friends, and she turns and looks to Thaldor and Brock. Do you also answer Elizar Dryflagon's call? As your eloquent friend here says?
Oh, yes. Praise the holy flame.
Hmm.
Brock dumbly tries to repeat what Thaldor said.
Okay.
If
well,
I have to, I'll roll deception, but I'm just saying I did that with the most sarcastic voice I could have.
yeah.
Like, yes, praise the, like, more like humdrum, like, yes, praise the holy flame.
And she looks at all of you, and then her gaze goes back to Faerun, and she says, "Well, I'm sure it's a secret, but I would be curious to know what role you all are to play in the ritual this evening."
Well, we're just new to the faith, you see, and well, truth be told, I noticed how pretty you were, and I was wondering if you had a date to the festivities.
Oh, you are very kind, my dear. You are very kind. Oh, Beart here and I are bonded in a manner of the druidic faith. I am his druid and he is my ranger. We are kindred spirits, and ours is a faith that requires a purity of our physical forms and a deep connection in our spiritual lives. There are many among us that are parts of other circles of druids. They are always on the lookout for physical companionship, just like the beasts of the forests. I'm sure that some of our brothers and sisters from other circles that come would welcome your affections. I must decline. I am sorry.
Well,
But you flatter me with your words.
yeah, you can't blame a guy for trying. Well, we best get on back to our camp, and thank you so much for the hospitality. I Can't wait to see you at the festivities.
Oh, likewise. All of you can make perception checks if you would.
That's
Oh,
3
wow.
crits in a
Rock
row.
Crits. What?
3 in a row.
You daddy
Holy
crits.
cow.
Jesus.
Holy cow. Somebody get the RNG police. To
My
check
goodness, you
out,
need to play the lottery, like Chris, like soon.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that when I actually crit an attack. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
no, dude, that's 3 crits. Did you know the statistical probability of you hitting 3 crits in a row?
So,
Don't maybe break out statistics.
So, Falliger noticed during this conversation that the 3 rangers were looking a bit more uncomfortable the longer the conversation went on. And Brock, you noticed that too. But the difference is that Brock, when Lighten turned down Falliger's affections, and she mentioned Biart, you noticed that the one that had been identified as Biart earlier, he masked it pretty well, but there was kind of a look of surprise that went over his face. He wasn't expecting her to say that. So you know that what she, at least from gathering from that's probably not entirely true what she said. And you notice also that the companions, when Falliger says they were getting ready to leave, the 3 rangers, they start to look very much more relieved. Like they're going to be glad to get rid of you guys. And Faldor just notices that, those kebabs really look good.
What's Can you give me a once over of Biart? What's he wearing? What's he look like? How's he carry himself? What kind of
Biart is he's dressed in rugged clothing and has breastplate on.
I'm gonna look to him and I'm gonna take off my pack and kind of open it up in front of me, pull out a little sack, and then produce several rabbit furs. I'm gonna look at him and say, Biart, you want to take a walk with me? Maybe I can help you produce more kebabs next time.
And he looks at you, and then he kind of it's almost like there's a beat that goes by, and then he suddenly says, "Oh, that is very kind of you, but I must help Lighten prepare." And he steps over nearer to her, and as he does, she sort of nods, and he steps up beside her. They don't clasp hands or anything like that, but he kind of moves up beside her as though the proper place for him to be is kind of at her side.
Another time, then.
Perhaps. And he gives you a little bow.
You two
It's
sure
kind
make
of
a
a
nice
bow.
couple.
And Lighten says, "Oh, thank you. You're very sweet.
Praise the holy flame!" And I walk away.
Praise the holy flame."
I'm gonna call up the group to meet like halfway down. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Halfway down the river before we get to the next camp.
Okay. All right. So you guys can you guys can sort of get to wherever the three of you want to get, and we'll just say you're sort of out of earshot of any of the nearby camps.
Before we do that, Gally, I want to ask you a question. When we passed this camp over here, the other Red X, did they have any similarities in the way they dressed or anything like that with these guys, as well as the other
You,
Red X down
you
below?
mean this one?
Yeah, the two Red X's. Are they all similar? Are they all,
Okay, I honestly don't think that you guys have been up here. Now, you had heard the reason I think you put the red X there
is the bears
is
were-
that, yeah, the wargs were there, and Casper had reported to Mulek, and Mulek had reported to you guys that they seem to be some kind of goblinoid creatures. So between the fact that they had wargs and they might be goblinoids, you guys are just, ooh, those sound like bad news. So I don't think you had gone there. I think that was just sort of an initial reaction. I mean, you don't have to go and talk to them if you don't want to, but you didn't really get close enough to do a full examination of them in that way. The ones you were talking to clearly were one half elf and 3 humans.
I was going to say that when Mulek did that, and then also the bear told you too that the ones north of where we was bad guys. Said, hey,
These guys down here, yes.
yeah, said that the ones like up to the right of them was like, yeah, they're bad guys. And he looked. I remember last week he was like, well, he looked up to his right and
Yeah.
back behind him a little
Yeah.
bit. Those guys were bad guys too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You did get that from the bear. I forgot that. Thank you.
No problem. Hey,
So
King.
so I guess when we get down here, Falazir will be like, all right, boys, I cut the bullshit. Get straight to it. I think every son of a bitch around here is batshit crazy. And we ought to get the hell out of here. Obviously, that woman was. There ain't no charm in her or trying to change her mind to get the hell out of here or nothing. And I don't know what's going on with those 3 that are with her. But maybe we can convince these guys in this next camp to get the hell out of here. But I'm not so sure we should stick around.
Well, I mean, if you count the camps, we got 3 good camps, 3 bad camps, and we got a bear, and they got a big ass whatever they're gonna summon. I mean, again, it comes down to me as honor, loyalty, and all that good stuff. This guy's, if he's summoning some kind of monster to kill people, I can't just step away, walk away. I will say, with Mulek gone, we're kind of gimped, but hey.
I think we can get some of these people on our side. And I mean, not the batshit crazy ones, but maybe the camp that we first met when we came in, convince them that what's going on is horrible. I mean, we got Captain C with us. But, I'm not horrible at speaking a little bit with a silver tongue. But I think a little tact and know-how and be like, hey, look, what they're going to do is some crazy shit. They're not here to have a fun festival. They're here to kill people. I think that might be a little more persuasive. And at the same time, when we talk to these guys right up here around the corner from us, I think we should be, we need, either help us shit or get off the chamber pot or run, because I think they want to kill you.
I think this next camp we're approaching now is going to be the most important yet. If we can win these guys over, it could be what we need. If we don't, it could be our end. I think what that is true. We have to be honest about that. We heard that they're here for a reason. We need to use that reason.
Well,
We'll be honest, and I think we should tell them that we know.
I'll see what I can do, and I'll ease them into it.
Right.
fair with that.
Okay. So you approach, and you've seen these two guys before, and they have very rugged look, and now that you're seeing them in the full light of day, um, uh, the they really do have kind of a feral look about them. Their eyes seem a bit wider than they should be. Um, they they give you this impression, and it's a really strange impression. They give you this impression both that they are um, studying you very carefully, and that they are mildly surprised by everything that they see, because their eyes are just a tiny bit too wide, and yet they have an intensity about them. So it's a very strange and almost surreal sense that you get from them. They are very rugged, and they're sparsely dressed, and they're very hairy. And uh, the one of them over here uh, looks at you guys and says, "Oh, hello. Can we help you?"
Hey, howdy. Good evening.
Yeah, it's kind of afternoon now, or yeah, we'll say it's early afternoon after you've talked with those folks over there. Um, Good afternoon.
Whatever. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. How you boys doing? We just kind of been going around camp, introducing ourselves. We're new around here, just trying to get the lay of the land, make some friends. You know how it is. Y'all pretty excited about this here festival going on this evening?
They kind of look across the fire at each other, and the one that you've been talking to says, "We are hopeful."
Oh, what you hopeful about? I heard it's going to be quite the heated exchange, if you know what I mean.
The druids promise it will bring healing to the land, and we hope that after the ritual, we will be able to speak with the leader. And the guy on the other side, he's kind of got this look like he's a bit anxious. Clearly, he doesn't like the presence of people that they don't know. And it's not that he seems like he's prone to just simply attack people. It's more that like he's wary of people that he doesn't know.
I start reaching in my bag. You boys don't mind if I smoke, do you? And I'll pull out a pipe and I'll start loading it. By the way, I don't mind sharing. If you guys partake of the old sticky tobacco.
And this one over here, he kind of looks and he says, "It's been long years since I've had a pipe." And he kind of looks wistfully at that. But then almost immediately he kind of goes back to being a little bit suspicious of you guys and wondering, just a little on edge. He doesn't trust people very well, and the one that you've been talking to, he kind of feels like he's compelled to talk, and the way he's looking around, he's not 100% comfortable either.
Well, I don't have an extra pipe on me per se, but I got some rolling papers. If you want some, I can roll you a cigarette. Seem like you boys a little bit on edge. Might take that off a little bit.
We have not spoken to many people here, says the one that you've been talking to. And when you offer to roll a cigarette, the guy on the other side, he looks like he's very indecisive for a moment, and then he just gives a quick little nod. Like he'll accept that if you roll on the cigarette.
Yeah, I'll roll a cigarette while I'm talking, and I'll say, you think these fellas could really be helpful? Seems a little shady around here, if you don't mind me saying. Have y'all noticed?
And he, the man you're talking to, he says, I do not know, but we must hope, mustn't we? I mean, if we lose hope, we lose everything. And I just want my family back. I want to be safe with my family again. And
Well,
then he kind of grimaces as though maybe he realizes he's said too much.
Well, hell, I can understand that. Back where I come from, family is all that matters. And I'll hand him that rolled cigarette, and I'll light it for him.
Okay, this guy will come around, and thank you. And he takes a long puff on it, and you can tell it's been a while since but then he says, oh, that tobacco is good. And then he takes another less of a deep drag on it, and just savors it for a moment.
I'll kind of sit down and get relaxed, and I'll say, well, what do you boys know about this festival, about these here druids? I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody around the surrounding area has ever heard of them before. Doesn't that seem a bit strange?
We heard rumors of this festival, and we came in hope, and we remain hopeful. I am curious. You fear the druids may not be completely honest. Then why are you still here?
Well, what if I told you? Now, per se, this was just a hypothetical situation. What if a particular group of people came all this way to investigate this here order of the Holy Flame, or whatever the hell they're running around calling themselves, is up to no good, or they mean what they say? And Now, just hear me out now. Perhaps say they are up to no good and they can't necessarily keep on the promises they're giving people. How would that make you feel?
If they prove false, then I don't know where we will turn.
Well, I'm not a true healer, but I have some healing training. If I may ask, what do you need these druids for? Because I might know somebody that could help you better than they can.
Okay, the question like that, that is going to require a mechanical persuasion check to get
Okay.
them to answer.
Boof. Good old persuasion. Okay.
Oh my God, 25.
This is why he's Captain C.
Yeah, Captain Steve for sure.
I don't even think Callie knew what to do with that 25.
The two of them, they look at each other for a long moment, and between the three of you, you're kind of watching them both, and you see this fella over here smoking a cigarette. He looks back and he nods gravely, and then Thaliger, the guy that you're talking to, his shoulders slump a little and his head drops, and he says, I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of running. I could be killed for what I'm about to tell you. But we bear a curse. A horrible, horrible curse. You see, Storl and I are woodsmen. We made our living up until 10 years ago. We made our living out at a logging camp by a river where we worked. And then we had the most horrible month. First, one day when we were back at our camp, getting ready for the night near our cabin, these horrible monsters erupted from the ground. Huge insect-like things. And we saw one of our own companions just cut in half by its mandibles. And we heard screams from inside one of the cabins. And Storl and I, we just ran. We ran into the woods. We did not know where we were running. We ran so far into the woods. And then it got worse. For we were attacked by wolves. But as it as our cursed luck would have it, they were not any wolves. They were wolves who walk as men. Not fully beast, not fully human. Shape changers is what I mean. Cursed by whatever foul power inflicted that condition on the world. And now we have to spend the full moon away from our families for fear of what we would do if we were near them. When that comes upon us, I have awoken naked with the carcass of a goat before me, its throat ripped out, and its blood all over me. And I was sick after. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. Storl is too. When we heard that these druids could offer healing, we had to hope, didn't we? And he's asking you as if you would know the answer.
What I know, as a half elf, a follower of Corleon, and clergy of Helm, would I know any kind of order that deals with this type of thing?
Well,
or
as a clergy, you would know that, as a member of the clergy, you would know that the divine spell, Remove Curse, could cure a person that contracted lycanthropy by being bitten. And it sounds like from these two, they were not born as lycanthropes. They had lycanthropy inflicted upon them by an attack. And the so you would know that. Now, where you would go for that, you probably could find clergy that had that power in any of the big cities, like going to Waterdeep or maybe going to Baldur's Gate or a place like that. There's clearly there are clergy within the Order of Helm, and there are clergy within the Order of Corellon too that could could cast that, but you would have to get them to a clergy with that level of power to do that.
Hey, Gally, out of game, how much would that kind of healing cost?
How much would that kind of healing cost? That is a very good question, and it just so happens that in the DM's guide,
Because I was curious about that. Some games I've heard it's different prices. Like one I heard it's like 1,000 gold. Different things. I guess it varies.
Yeah, there's
alternative
there's actually a suggested price for
equal to or less than a reverse scroll.
Yeah, let's see. What is the
I don't think lesser restoration would take that. I think it takes greater restoration to that.
Oh, that's it. Remove Curse. It's a level 3 spell, so it's not very high up.
Yeah. Remove Curse, level 3 spell, and level 3 spell is God spell scroll. So let's take a look at it.
So it makes me wonder: are we capable? I wonder if James has remove curse. Is he capable of that?
You guys are 5th level characters. You all.
See, I think
You all. Yeah. Now, it's an. Is it a rare item or is it an uncommon item? Spell scroll. Okay. 3rd level is uncommon item. And so that means it is between, what's the damn price on that? Types of treasure, magic items. Uncommon is 100 to 500 gold. So, yeah, a scroll, each of those scrolls would probably be somewhere around 300 gold. And so getting somebody to cast that, if they have it memorized, would probably be somewhere between 100 and 300 gold. And, depending on how good-hearted a cleric is and what their read on the recipient is, there would be some clerics that would simply cast that at no charge because they would want to remove another lycanthrope from the world.
Or we can always capture someone who's capable. Hint, hint. Wonder if the main guy is a caster. Do we get any feel for that?
He didn't cast any magic, but he did give you some magic items, and so you don't know whether he created those or whether he, he had those. And if he's a druid, you guys can, if you want to, you can make a check to see if you know whether or not that druids have remove curse on their spell list, since none of you are.
Arcana?
I mean, he's kind of.
Yeah, it would probably be an Arcana spell.
I wouldn't take it.
Since I'm a cleric, would I know what spells would take that off?
Yeah, remove curse is the spell.
Or greater restoration?
Remove curse.
Yeah, okay, remove curse is the lowest spell. Let's see, greater restoration, I believe. Yes. Remove curse is a 3rd level spell. 5th level spell, greater restoration. Will reduce the target's exhaustion or end one of the following effects, and one of those effects is remove a curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magic item. But, the greater restoration also requires a 100 gold piece diamond as part of a material component, and that gets consumed. The remove curse doesn't require any material components.
Thing about greater restoration, it's a 5th level spell, so it's a little bit more expensive.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Plus 100 gold worth of diamond. So you're looking at that they would easily charge 500 gold per spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remove curse, best bet.
So Falliger would think a moment. Well, friend, where I come from, the clergy would probably, well, I can't say all of them, but I know some of them that would probably take that curse off your hand. That's what's happened to you. You've been cursed. And, some people will remove that for free. If you go to a temple and you just explain what's happened to you and, how much you love your family and how you're just tired of it, they'll probably take it off for next to nothing, if nothing at all. I figure like these druids, if they really cared about you, they would have already taken it off.
And they both look at you intently. They say, For true? Do you know such a cleric? Early on, we approached a cleric in one of the villages, and we tried to tell him. And when we asked about it, he called for the town guard, and he called us monsters and chased us out of town. We barely fled with our lives. We have not dared to approach any clergy since.
Do you know what order he was from?
I do not know. I am not one who is a student of many of the gods. I think he had some kind of symbol, maybe that was a hammer of some kind or something like that.
Well, in any case, I don't know many clerics that would run like that, so he was a fledgling at best. So,
Or a right bastard? What order did that sound like? Hammer of some? Did not describe it well enough?
There's a couple of deities that have hammers. Let me just pull up some of the different things. Okay, so yeah, all right. The Faerun. Okay, the Faerun pantheon. Gods of Faerun. Okay, so you would know that among humans, there are a couple of deities that are said to have weapons as part of their symbol.
I guess it doesn't really matter, but
you know that Tyr has the hammer with the scales on top of it. But then you also know that some of the dwarven deities have weapons. But and the gods, even the non-human gods will accept human worshippers, and these guys didn't say whether what race the cleric was. So, it could have been a drunk dwarf on a bad day. That,
well, I'll tell you boys this: any cleric with the capability to get that curse off of you would do it, whether it's for currency or trade of services and goods or what have you. But yeah, I know people. I know of orders and things like that could take care of you. I am worried that these druids around here shouldn't be trusted. Because I can tell you this right now, I've never heard of this order.
And they now are looking at the three of you and they're saying, well, what should we do?
Well, we're trying to decide that ourselves. We reckon we're going to stick around, possibly see what happens, and if there's a fight break out, we're kind of looking for allies. And if you'd be willing to stick by us, God willing we survive, we see about you getting a proper healing.
and if you believe in karma, this could help you.
They look at the three of you, and then they look at each other, and then after a minute, they nod, and they kind of look over to a pile, and you see that they have some hide armor over there, and one of them has a pole arm. One of them has kind of what looks like an old, beaten up sword in a scabbard, and they both have longbows that are serviceable, and then they both have hand axes. And they say, if there is a fight, we will fight with you. Please, though, take us to a place where we can find a cleric, or you must not be with us when the next full moon comes. We must try to find a cure before then.
Well, we can do what we can for you. I just think that sounds like if you're not a firm believer in this holy flame or whatever the hell they're talking about, they might just as soon as well sacrifice you or God knows what else do with you. So,
Dear
better
God,
safe with us.
do you think these druids practice human sacrifice?
We have many reasons to believe they're drawing people in to sacrifice them to their deity. Yes.
Oh, dear gods. Do you think all of the druids around here are in league with them?
We've talked to a few. Right now, the camps are split 3 and 3. If you join us, so
Well, will we have more allies then when the fight comes?
no.
Best we could recollect is a camp directly to the east of you there. They seem to be friendly and not brainwashed.
We've
And-
yet to talk to them. I'd recommend you go to the south. We know they are friendly. They're good people. If you introduce yourself, I'm sure they'll take you in. Tell them we sent you.
Very well. Okay. And this curse brings much that is bad, but I have noticed over the years that my senses are heightened. I can tell you that when the wind comes from the east, those that are farthest over there, a foul odor comes from them. I don't think they're human.
We are aware.
And
You any good with those bows?
we have survived these long years mainly because we have been able to shoot our enemies from range and dissuade them from pursuing us. We only fight hand to hand when we have to.
Good. Well, if it comes to that, stay at range and try to give us some support. We'll take care of the up and close.
Very well.
We'll take care of the big guy. You worry about the other camps. The one you mentioned about specifically.
Okay.
Don't speak of this to anyone. That goes without being said, I imagine.
Yes, of course. And the fella you've been talking to, he says, I am Wiglaf, and my companion here, he points to the other one, is Storl. May I know your names?
Name's Falazure. This is my friend Brock.
Thaldor.
Oh, Brock, Thaldor, and friend Falazure. It It is strange to say that word after all these years, friend. We will fight at your side, or from range to give you cover. And they're like a very simple people, but they have kind of this simple code of honor. And Brock, it's something that you would be familiar with. Yes, you grew up in a uh, noble home and in a castle, but you learned all of the different kind of customs of the different um, peoples, and you sort of recognize when common people are being very serious and you know um, kind of that code of honor that goes with that. And these two people, they're like, well, they've literally given you enough information that you could basically call down everybody else in the camp and just have them slaughtered as monsters. So clearly they've given a lot of trust to you, and they're um, they mean what they say when they say they're going to take up arms on your side if it comes to that.
Oh yeah, I totally got that feel. And Brock.
Okay. All right.
So do they leave before us, or are they still meandering around while we're standing there?
Oh, okay. As DM, I wasn't sure whether you were intending to send them down to the other camp, or whether you were just saying, "Hey, if you need a place to go, that camp is the place to go."
Yeah,
So,
I would urge them to go down there to rally.
okay. So yeah, they'll pick up their gear and then they will go ahead and they will make their way down towards this camp. And as they do, you can tell that initially, as they approach, the two elk kind of get a little skittish, and because clearly they sense something is a bit different about these folks. But they go up and they start talking to the druids there. And after they start talking to the druids for a couple of minutes, the elk gradually begin to drift back over into where they had been, figuring, oh well, if our friends think they're okay, well then they must be okay. So
Boys, them are some good people. We got to make sure they get back to their families. Thinking about the camps to them, Thaldor, I had a sudden idea. That camp down to the southeast with the bear that I spoke to. There was only 2 people there. Maybe you could sneak in during the night. What do you think?
You want it clean or you want it dirty?
Quick and silent.
Can be done.
Hold on, wait. Just wait, Tab a minute. You want to off the people over there by the bear?
We got 3 camps and 3 camps. The only difference is it's us versus this guy, which we don't know anything about really, and some big ass thing, god-like thing he's going to summon.
Well, we don't know what he's
It's our
going to
way of-
summon. And secondly, we don't know if that group is going to be hostile or not. Can't just go around killing people. You don't know if they're bad or not.
We do know, fellas. Maybe you drank a little bit too much last night, but I had a conversation with that bear, if you recall, and that bear told me everything we needed to know about those people in that camp. They're bad people. I'll put it that way.
Well, bad's bad, but you got to be pretty bad to kill somebody, buddy.
It'd be pretty damn bad to be cruel to an animal.
Well, I don't want no part of it.
I'm just saying, if you're willing to do that to an animal, what are you willing to do to another person? Anyway, we got one more camp, boys.
Okay. So I'm
Or-
just gonna say that your conversations at each of these camps takes about an hour. So now you're probably um, early mid afternoon, so like 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30, something like that. As you finish up with these guys, and when you say you have one more camp, are you thinking about heading over here to these people?
That's what I was thinking. This is me speaking out of character. Like the bear told us
Okay.
our north camp was bad. These guys told us that far east northeast camp was bad. I don't think we even need to mingle with them. What do you guys think?
So this group here was good,
That's what the bear said. He gave us that one to the northeast.
and this one with the are bad. These two are bad.
According to the bear.
For the bear.
Yeah.
Mm,
The bear gave us his camp, and then he gave us this one. He said these people were good and that these people were bad. We haven't talked to either one of these, as far as I'm aware. But the lycanthropes told us these guys were bad too. So I'm thinking that we don't even need to bother with these guys. We got two perspectives that these guys are.
okay. Well, what do we do now, boys?
Got one more camp of allies, hopefully. Hope that silver tongue holds up. Brock pat you on the shoulder. Keep it up, man.
Wait, which camp are you talking about?
This one right here.
Well, you said the bear was saying that those are good people. So do we even really need to bother? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if shit breaks out, they're just going to be at a free for all. We need to, introduce, and same thing we did here. Let them know what's going on and what to do. Basically, that's my thoughts.
Alrighty.
So Brock is interested in making sure they are not going to be free agents if something happens, and Fowler's concern is, well, if we know they're on the right side, they'll probably do the right thing. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
I mean, that's what I think, but I'll go over and talk to him if that's what we agreed to do.
Okay. And that's if we have two folks that are for going and talking to him, I'll say that's probably majority, so we can do that. Before we do that, I have 22 after the hour. Let's go ahead and take our break. It's a little early, but we'll take our break. We'll come back at let's go ahead and come back at 35 after the hour, and we will have the second half of our session. Viewers, we thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us this evening. We are going to have a little break. I am going to put on some music and put us back on our slate. And if you guys have any questions for the players or DM during the break, let us know, and we will answer them before we resume. All right, guys, back at 35 after.
Yo, Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You checked out Cyberpunk yet?
And I'm kind of getting wore out about the excitement over Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Is it any good?
Looks good, but it's like the only thing that really upsets me is like people are so excited about, oh wait, I can change the genitalia of my character. I'm like, that turned me off right there. You can customize it. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Quite a
Wow.
Character customization doesn't mean shit if it's single player. Like, you're the only one that's going to see it, and it's first person anyway, so not even you are going to see it unless it's a cutscene. So it's like,
I was going to say, unless you look straight down when you're
see your feet.
So
yeah, that game.
I guess you could be a guy. Can you be a guy and give yourself like female traits?
Yes.
Too?
Yeah. Oh my god. There was a meme. No. You ever seen Cyanide and Happiness, the characters?
No.
You gotta look up Cyanide and Happiness.
Okay.
They're like little animated characters. So there was a meme of one that had boobs and a big thing.
Yeah.
And then somebody put across the top of it, they just said, oh, look, I can customize my stuff in Cyberpunk 2077. I'm laughing my ass off.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like, yeah, I'm good.
Well, part of me was just excited because I figured it was like the sci-fi version of Elder Scrolls, which, given time, it probably will become that. I'm sure they're going to, drop a lot of downloads or expansions with all the money they're going to receive off the initial hype train. But
it's reminds me of BioShock. In this play style.
That was kinda, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was something different, and the industry's lacking right now for good single player games. But I'm not really a single player type anyway.
Well, it's an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People have been waiting for a while.
I just feel like single player games is just a waste of time. Like, I need some kind of competitiveness, even if it's like WoW, where just every now and then open world you get into a scuffle or arena whenever you choose to do so. Even that's like, it has to have that. You know what I mean? Like, I need some type of competitiveness.
I don't know. I like single player games. That's why like Divinity's good and Baldur's Gate.
Well, that's co-op, so
I had to bring up Divinity. I know we need to play that eventually. I'm messing with you. Sorry, but
you messing with me? What do you mean?
How do you run that, Doors? You have like one campaign. You just
sorry. I was talking about Divinity with me and Ken playing Divinity. I said we need to play that again soon.
Yeah, Chris asked you a question.
So when you do that, is it like an ongoing campaign where you already have created characters and people just jump in and take control of those characters, or do you just re-roll when you play with you?
Oh no, we created the characters at the beginning, and every time we keep playing, it's the same story and stuff, just continuing the story and dialogue.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a play as you go.
Yeah, I was just curious because I know he's played with different sets of people, so I didn't know if like you were taking over someone else's character or they were taking over your character or what, or if it's two separate campaigns.
I don't think I'll go ahead.
I'm just saying, no, it's my character and then his character, and then we use NPCs.
So if you're playing a campaign and I join you, I'm bringing my character into your campaign? Is that how that works?
I'm sure about that.
I don't know if you can. Yeah. I mean, that's the way it works. And like, definitely in Divinity 2, you can have up to 4 people that are real players. But I don't know about Divinity Enhanced Edition. I think you can only play with 2 people. Don't quote me on that, but
Yeah, I played with somebody and we didn't make it 20 minutes into the campaign before they got bored and frustrated. So after I bought myself and them the game, so $120 for a good 20 minutes is like cool.
For which one?
Divinity 2.
Oh, Divinity 2.
Yeah, it was like a couple months or a month after it released. $120 for 20 minutes. Good times.
$120. Why was it $120? I don't remember being that much.
$50 a game, I think.
60
Oh,
for me, 60
yeah.
for them.
Oh, dude, that's the worst, dude.
Yeah, it's like, God, just try to enjoy it at least, please. But nah. Man, to be honest with you guys, I love you guys both, but and tell me how much of a gap there seems to be with James gone. Like, I didn't even realize until he's gone that he did so much.
It's not much. It's not really a gap. It's just so we're doing a lot of dialoguing that.
Well, the way I look at it is, all us three are like the points on like a 3-pointed star, and then James is like directly in the middle. He can play any ground. He can support anybody. He's very crucial, I think, to this party.
Well, we will see what happens this evening, and I am going to allow you guys as players to determine how far we go this evening, and if we get to a point that you feel like, oh, we can't go any further without the full party here, then we will go ahead and we will end whenever we get to that point. But I do want to give you guys a chance to have a game this evening, and as a person that is trying to create content and cultivate some people that enjoy said content online, I think it's always important to try to be as consistent as possible. So as long as we have enough players to play, I would prefer to have a game, even if we have somebody missing, than to take a week off, because then that's when you start to get game fade, where it's like, well, are we going to play this week or aren't we going to play this week? Because every other week we're
And
not playing.
on top of that, you got the holiday season, so people have extra time. Wanting to tune in, and you don't want to not be there for them.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, I mean, reality is 2 weeks from tonight is Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And so, some of you guys just may have family or other things going on. It's like, hey, I can't play on Christmas Eve. And then 7 days after that, 3 weeks from tonight, is New Year's Eve. And, in a world absent COVID, nobody's gonna want to sit around and play D&D either on Christmas Eve or on New Year's Eve. In a world with COVID, maybe people do, but still, I have to plan for those maybe 2 weeks that we're just out because of cultural norms and family traditions that may take precedence, and I'm fine with that.
That's unlucky RNG.
Yeah, but it happens. It happens every few years, where every year the same day gets hit with Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve a week apart. All right. Well, enough about that. I am glad, and I'm sure that when James goes back and watches this again, he will appreciate the fact that you guys are missing him for the session. And as I mentioned before, sorry he had to miss for the circumstances, and hope that he and his family have a safe trip back home. All right. So when we left off for our break, you had sent your 2 lycanthrope friends to go hang out with your druid friends, and you were coming over here to talk with these folks in this camp. And you see 4 people around the camp, and there are 3 that are dressed like druids, and a 4th one that is dressed like a traveler. And so they are all sitting around. 2 of the druids appear to be seated in what might seem to be meditation. The 3rd druid is whittling something, and the 4th person, the traveler, has a walking staff and just sits with the staff across his knees and appears to be kind of lost in thought as he's sort of looking into the fire. But as you all walk up, they all turn towards you, and the 2 druids that appear to be in meditation, they come out of it and they rise gracefully. And the traveler continues just sitting, but he's now looking at you all attentively. And one of the druids says, "Welcome. Welcome to our fire."
Well, howdy.
Hello.
Yes, we were just walking
May we
around
help
the
you?
camp, getting to know people, and well, we figured we'd come over and be all polite, introduce ourselves. What's you carving there? My name's Falazur, and this is my friend Brock, and also my friend right here is Thalador, and what brings you around here?
Oh, well, we are here. We are here for the ritual, of course. And you can tell that these druids are dressed slightly differently than the druids that you've seen that are connected with the tower, and slightly differently than the druids that are connected with the camp where you stayed last night. And you hear them say, "Well, we are druids of the circle of the mountain," and he indicates himself and the 2 other druids. And this is a traveler who recently arrived and joined us at our fire yesterday, wasn't it? And the traveler looks and nods and says, "Yes, they are very hospitable."
What is the druid carving? Can I tell?
It looks like just a little kind of a it kind of looks like he's carving sort of a it might be like kind of a little animal figure or something.
Okay.
He's just kind of getting started, so it's hard to tell because it hasn't much taken shape yet.
Well, what part of the world do you guys come from, if I may ask? You said circle of the mountain?
Yes, and more specifically, we are from the um, all right, where's the map? Show me a map. tells the okay, I want to see a oh gosh. No, there's that, and then there's this. Yeah, all right. God dang it. There. There you go. There you go. They say that they are from the Sword Mountains. And the Sword Mountains, that may mean something to the other two of you, but Thaldor, Thaldor knows some stories about the Sword Mountains. He knows that there is a specific place within the Sword Mountains, actually several places that he's heard a lot about, because they're not too far away from Phandalin. And his uncle tells a story about a dragon he fought at a place called Icespire Hold, which is in the Sword Mountains. So these are druids that are from that part of the world.
Yeah, but say I know good few stories about the mountains up there, not far from the place where I grew up.
Oh, and where would that be?
Mountains, little place called
No. Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up? That's what they're asking.
Phandalin.
Oh, yes. We know Phandalin. Oh, yes. Many times our travels have taken us through there, and the Stonehill Inn has fine ale, and I wonder if Mr. Stonehill still makes those wonderful cookies that we remember so well.
Oh yes. And did you happen to see the manticore tail on the bar that was up there? If it's, I was there. It was still there.
Oh yeah, yes. Yes, I remember that manticore tail.
Yes, my uncle and his friends are the ones that captured that manticore tail, and so be it. My uncle actually took a barb from that manticore on that outing.
Oh my goodness. Well,
He shows off the scar every chance.
Well, that's certainly a scar to remember. Actually, Valdor, we're over here at this camp.
What brings y'all so far from home?
Well, we heard the tales from the traveling Circle of the Scarlet Moon about this ritual that's supposed to happen. Certainly, there's been lots of troubles in the lands recently, and we, they claim that they have a ritual that will heal it. They talk about a Wicker Giant, and there's tales that our master, the great druid of our mountains, when we told him about it, he said there's rumors that at one time there was an ancient order that created constructs, wicker giant constructs that were servants, if you will, of druidic orders. And so perhaps this is one such construct. Their rituals seem strange and foreign to us, but if they could heal a land, it might be worth knowing them, and it might be worth investigating.
Now, have you ever heard of this order before?
No, we haven't. But we druids, we follow the spirits of the land, and the spirits will sometimes call to a druid and urge him or her to create a new order. And sometimes those orders are long lived and last and become circles that are known the length and breadth of the Sword Coast. And sometimes those orders are circles that are short lived and formed for a particular purpose that the land itself cries out to be addressed. So while we have not heard of this circle of the Scarlet Moon before, it certainly, certainly is within our traditions that such a circle could and perhaps should appear when there is a great need in the land.
I see. How long has your order been around? Like a couple thousand years, 100 years, what?
Oh, generations. Our great druid can count back his family for 15, 20 generations have all been part of the circle of the mountains. They have not always been in the Sword Mountains, mind you, but they are part of the circle of the mountains. And in fact, he has cousins and brothers and sisters that are scattered from the spine of the world down to the mountains out in the shining desert.
I see. And with that being said, would you say there's ever been an order that has come together that has needed to do what this particular group is trying to do in that time period?
Oh, I'm not a lore master, and he this one turns and it's they're the three druids are humans. It's two men who look like they are in their 20s or 30s, and there's a female druid who looks like she's maybe in her 40s or 50s. And so this man, Comnal, Comnal is the one that's talking to you, and he says, "I'm no lore master." And then he looks at the other two, and they shake their heads and they say, "We've not heard of such, but doesn't mean that it has not happened. Would have to talk with some of the sages in our circle to know for sure."
Now, don't you think that would have been a particularly good question to ask before you had to walk all this way?
And the commoner that is sitting here, he's kind of looking curiously at the three of you, and then he says, "Friend," he says, "Are you putting these good druids on trial? They have been very hospitable to me, and they have welcomed you to their fire. Is this any way to treat people who have shown you hospitality?"
Oh, well, it's been a long day. I'm a little hungry, I guess. I'm a little hangry, if you will. I'm just making conversation. I mean, we're thinking about joining in on this order, and we just figured these type of questions are reasonable to ask.
Let me ask you a question. How do you know the bear to the south?
Who are you addressing that to?
Everyone.
And the three druids, they look down at the bear and they say, "We do not."
Well, that's funny because he told me you were good people. How would he know this?
Well, the beasts of the woods have a sense that they can sense the presence of druids, and they know that we are not a threat to them. Generally, I would presume it is his animal instincts, but
And yet we've been here for a night and a day, and we know that this man plans to sacrifice you and the rest of the people here. Yet you don't. What's missing?
and the druids look kind of alarmed. And the traveler now, now would be a good time for some perception checks from the three of you.
All my good rolls are wasted. Ugh.
Give me a second.
Falliger and Mike, Ken and Mike.
Need to teach you guys how to set up macros.
For once, I rolled something decent.
Yeah, there you go. There's a good roll for the night. Ken, are you at your computer? Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, so 2 good rolls. The 3 druids are clearly alarmed by this, and this traveler, he, when you said, or when one of you, or when Falliger said that they were thinking about joining with this order, he looked at you all very suspiciously. And then, Brock, when you said that this guy was looking to sacrifice you, he seemed startled. And at first, it was kind of startled, like, they would admit this. And then there was also this, well, wait a second. What really is the deal with these guys? So he's like, he's not surprised that the plan of the druids is to sacrifice. He is kind of surprised that whether you guys are in league with them or whether you're opposing them, he's really trying to gauge where you all stand.
That part is the one guy that's very blunt failed the check, so you guys got to handle this.
Well, I'm going to be straight with you folks. I was playing a little coy earlier. Gist of the matter is we suspect that this is a cult, and they do not hold true to a druidic order in the sense. As although we cannot prove it, I can tell you that the leader kept going on about the holy flame, fire, and brimstone, and burning things down, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm a member of the clergy, and I've never heard of this order. And I can smell a cult from a mile away.
And the traveler looks at you and says, so you've talked with this leader. Did he give you any specific indication of what he was planning to burn? And now you can tell he's really interested in knowing the answer to this.
I want to insight check him to see if
Okay.
he wants to know because it directly affects him or what.
Sure. You get the general impression that he's suspicious that this cult might pose a danger to him.
We have talked with him, yes.
And he said, "Oh, really? Well, then, did he give you a location, a target, a purpose?"
Yes, he intends to use his power and influence, or whatever that may be, to target the keep down a little, I don't know, a couple hours from here along the river.
Look, he's using this other cult and downtrodden folks from that other cult to come here, and he's going to sacrifice you. That's what we think. That's what we believe. I very strongly believe this.
I don't know what he's going to do with the people around here, but I can tell you that he means to use his power and influence to attack another cult that worships some kind of evil water deity or something, not too far from here on the river. You know of that old keep that's a couple hours from here? Pertains alongside the river?
And the druids, they shake their heads, and the traveler shakes his head. Then as he shakes his head, he kind of takes his staff and he puts it on the ground, and he starts to sort of haul himself to his feet from where he's been sitting. He says, "No, I don't know, but what you say is alarming to me. I want no part of this." And he turns to the three druids. He says, "Brothers, sister, you have been very kind, and I believe your hearts are good. I hope that you will be safe, but I am a mere simple traveler. I must get myself to safety. I'm afraid of this place now."
Well, hold on a minute. Isn't there something you can do to aid us? How can you leave here knowing that this man could devour the souls and bodies of men and women across the country? Surely there's something inside of you that wants to help.
And he looks at you, and he looks at your rippling muscles, and he looks at your weapons, and he looks at your companions, and clearly, I mean, the three of you all just radiate adventurers and radiate kind of the danger that goes along with adventurers. And druids, there's stories about all kinds of things that druids can do. And he just sort of spreads his hands and he says, "You are powerful adventurers. These are mighty druids.
Listen, I'm not asking you to step on the front lines with me. You could help heal the wounded after the battle. You could be a watch during the battle. There's many other things you can help with.
Or I could go to a nearby town and warn them of that and have them raise a militia.
That works as well, sure.
I merely seek to survive. I friends, and he looks to Brock and he says, "Are you known in towns? Whom should I say sent me with this warning about these?"
Unfortunately, friend, I am known far and wide, but the persona I take on nowadays is not known. So, unfortunately, that cannot help. What I will say is, if you can do what you said, travel to the nearest biggest city, town, anything, gather a militia. If we fall here tonight or whenever it happens, someone needs to take over the fight.
Yes, I believe the largest town of note is Red Larch. Um, Perhaps a day, maybe a little more, to the. I'm doing a mental positioning in my head. Where is this? Okay. Come on. No. This is the source. This is the source. And then we want to say the. All right. Come on. Come on. I hate it when D&D Beyond gets slow. All right. Blah, 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 blah. It says Red Larch. I believe that is perhaps a day, maybe more, to the west. I will go straight there.
I fear once you return, if you do return with them, all you will find is either our corpses or their corpses. If it's ours, you need to let them know that this cult means ill amongst everyone they come in contact with.
Well,
Oh,
if I may interject, we're not 100% sure what the hell's going to happen, and my friend here is preparing for the worst.
My point is, if we are dead on the battlefield tomorrow or whenever they return, that things went bad for a good reason. Yeah.
I could agree with that. So just to be safe, if you could let us around in town know, maybe they can further investigate.
of course, of course. Um, Blessings to you, and may the gods you serve protect you. And then he turns to the um, druids. He says, "May the mountains and the hills and the grasses and the sky protect you." And they thank him, and then he wanders off, or he doesn't wander off. He makes his way down the hill, um, trying not to look like he's um, moving too fast, but it's clear that he's moving with a purpose. And he kind of just heads off the map to the the path takes him to the south. So he kind of goes this way, and he just heads off that way, and he gets out of sight, going off the path. But there's not really a road that leads directly west, but you get the impression that that's where he's going to be heading, is to the west, at least from what he told you. So, all right, so now you're left with these three druids here, and they're like, "This is troubling news indeed. If your suspicions are true, if these are cult, then what do you think they follow?"
Probably some kind of fire deity or something, because they just keep going on about the holy fire and cleansing and burning the hearts of unbelievers and the wickedness of the water cult or whatever the hell they called them.
Did this leader give you a name of the entity that this supposed water cult follows?
Did he, Gally?
He did.
He did.
Our character,
Um,
but we don't.
well, I'll either let you take a look at the Discord notes, or I'll let you roll a history check to see if you remember.
Hold on, let's check the NPC names. What?
I was going to say I would know if I was there in the conversation.
Oh, you were. Okay, so yes, you were there in the
Fine.
conversation. So no check needed. It was Ol Hydra,
Yeah.
I think it was Ohydra, guys.
and
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and the three druids look at each other and they say, "Ol Hydra. That is bad news indeed."
Tell
Do you
us what
think?
you know.
Well, the lore about Ol Hydra is complicated. Ol Hydra's origins are on the elemental plane of water, but Ol Hydra is twisted and evil by some dark, foul magic. Uh, there are rumors that somewhere in this region, the Somber Hills, there was an ancient temple buried underground that venerated a force called the Elder Elemental Eye. And the Elder Elemental Eye was a, I don't know whether it is an entity or whether it's a god or whether it's a primordial force made up of the energies of the very elemental planes themselves, but it twists the hearts of those who follow it to evil. So vile were those who followed the elemental eye that even the dark elf followers of Lolth made them outcasts, if you can believe it. If there was some force that even the priests of Lolth would fear. And they had a
Is this
temple. Go ahead.
eye something physical that we could find if he has possession of it?
I know not. All I know are these are just rumors that are passed down as part of the folklore of the druids.
Wait a minute. Wait. If I may interject.
Yes.
So this is an evil cult that worship a primordial water deity, basically?
Well, that's just it. It wasn't one cult. It was 4 cults.
Well, now it's starting to make sense. So we're dealing with some fire crazy bastard up on the hill here.
Which, if the water cult follows Ol Hydra, then surely the fire cult follows Imix. Imix, the lord of fire elementals. You've heard the rumors, no doubt, about the great dwarven citadel. The great dwarven citadel at okay, let's see, where are we? There we are at oh, come on. What the hell is the name of that? What was the name of that city? Okay. Okay. Ah, yes. The Great Dwarven Citadel of Gauntlgrim. You've heard of that, no?
Would Falazure have heard such a thing based on his background?
Almost all of you would have
I was
heard
gonna say
tales.
everybody's heard of that.
Okay.
Almost all of you would have heard of Gauntlgrim in some point or another. And he says, he continues, he says, Gauntlgrim's forges are powered by a great primordial fire elemental called Megra. Megra was stolen from the forges of the fire giants at their great citadel of iron slag. And it is said that the fire giants were given Megra as a gift by Imix himself. Megra's power is such that were it unleashed, it would level a mountain, turning it into molten rock. Imagine if that were a shard, what the power of Imix himself could do. If these fools follow Imix, they bring destruction upon themselves and everyone around them. This is horrifying. And if the cult of Imix is warring with the cult of Hydra, then it stands to reason that the cults of air and earth cannot be far away.
Now, is this deity, not a deity per se, but primordial entity, as it were, what alignment would you say they represented?
They are all evil. They are evil. They represent the destructive forces of the elements themselves. They are the very embodiment of the destruction of fire, the destruction of water, the destruction of air, and the destruction of earth.
Oh, hell. So you mean to tell me that we're probably dealing with not one damn evil cult, but 4?
I'm afraid so, yes. Oh, this is terrifying.
And I wish I would have paid more attention in clerical school about history. I don't remember that at all.
And the woman who is with him, she speaks, and the fellow that you've been talking to, he looks over and he says, "Yes, Markad." And she says, "I think it is wise for us to take precautions. I will send to our brothers a warning." And then she kind of closes her eyes and sort of goes into this. It seems like she goes into a trance a little bit. And a few moments pass. And then her eyes open again. And she says, "Our great druid has indeed seen visions of flood and flame and earthquake and storm. They came to him shortly after this strange weather began. And the closer we have gotten to the somber hills, the more pronounced the odd weather patterns have become. I think, friends, that we perhaps are very close to the center of whatever this is. The word is being passed even now to other circles of druids, other circles of the mountain, circles of the land, circles of the sky and the stars, and any others that we have come across. Within a day, they will know where we are, what is going on, and those who can come first will come. Others will come in time.
Well,
What do you propose?
Well, shit, what do you do against primordial greater beings? I mean,
we fight.
Well, unless this Elizar Dryflagon is far more powerful than we can imagine. And then she kind of looks up at the tower and says, "And would you really think that somebody with such power would be in a rickety, rundown, half rebuilt tower like this? Probably not. Um, but unless he is, I doubt he could summon anything close to even the power of Magra, let alone the power of Imix. But if he has the favor of Imix, certainly he could summon a fire elemental. That would be bad enough."
But what happens if we actually attack him before he summons anything? We ran into a few lycanthropes that were looking for refuge here and a cure. Another village, or I'm sorry, a camp to the southwest are good people. With all of us combined, if we were to attack him before he summons anything, he will be powerless.
speaking of which, do any one of you druids have the ability to remove curses?
Remove curses. Oh,
Paladin, cleric, and warlock, bro.
yeah. I don't think it's not a druid. No, we do not.
Greater restoration does. I was just curious.
Yeah. These guys are not. These guys are not powerful enough to have
Okay.
5th level spells.
All right.
Yeah, these guys are not powerful enough to have that just yet.
Well, I figured I'd just ask. They said they'd be willing to help us in a fight if we need be. It's just they were looking to get healed.
And they came here hoping that perhaps the healing of the land would somehow help them. Oh, those poor people. They must have been ones afflicted by a bite and not born into the curse.
Indeed.
Oh dear. It is.
Needless to say, they're angry and they're looking for revenge, and they could be of use.
Yes. You say the camp below with the elk. They are of like-minded with yourselves.
Indeed, and we already sent down the lycanthropes to join them, and the bear to the camp down to the south. I spoke with him. He's with us as well. The rest are not.
I'm curious, you mentioned the bear, but what about the companions with the bear?
They're not with us.
Oh. Then and she kind of is curious, well, that's odd that the bear would befriend them.
They do not treat them so well. He's a prisoner, if you will.
He is a prisoner. Well then, after we deal with the leader of this cult, we know who we must deal with next. Yes?
I believe we'll have to deal with them all at the same time, unfortunately.
Well. And the other man over here, he gives his name as Ragnad, and he says, I have some talent with the beasts. Perhaps I can make a connection with this bear and
He
help him get to safety.
he says he is too weak to fight. He's a bear, so I think he would fight if given the chance, but if you can heal him in any way or release him, yes, that would be better.
Yes. We all have the talent of healing the beasts of the wood. We will keep our eyes open, and we will let our brothers and sisters in the other camp know. Thank you, friends. And they introduce themselves. He's Ragnad, Kamnal, and Mercad are their names. And I don't know if you guys introduced yourselves or not, but if you didn't, he'll ask your names.
I'm
We did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, because Falliger introduced himself. And
Brock would actually take this chance to actually formally introduce himself, and he would say, I'm Brock Borderbreaker, Prince of Gars and rightful heir to the Blackburn throne.
and the woman, she says, so you yet live.
Secretly, yes.
Many in our order thought that you would not be so easy to break down and capture as Henry has made it be known. So his story then is false, I take it?
Whatever story he's showing out is false, yes. With the help of Cedric Amos, I was able to escape. I'm assuming you know him. He's a Harper Druid as well. Assuming you are.
Oh, yes. Cedric is a good man. He does not openly dispute the story of Henry, I think for fear of drawing more attention to you, but the whispers have passed that he has made it known that you were not the one who betrayed the king. It was the other one.
It's good to know I'm amongst friends.
Indeed. Well, I think we should be going. We must prepare for battle.
I'd like to ask another question, if I may.
Oh, certainly.
So, that giant wicker, that's probably for some kind of ritual, per se. What would happen if that wicker man was prematurely burned or whatever? I'm assuming with fire, there's going to be something burning in this damn ritual or something, or whatever hell's going to happen. Would it mess up their plans if that big old gigantic wicker thing up there got prematurely caught on fire?
If it were burned before the ritual is complete, I think yes, it would. The ancient stories say that when the Wicker Giant constructs were created, there was a living flame inside them that seemed to be the source of their animation. I would not doubt that they might be trying to recreate that, or they may just be trying to use the effigy of the Wicker as a suitable place to summon a fire elemental and then set that loose against those they perceive as their enemies.
Well, hails bells. What are y'all going to do?
Oh, you're asking them?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we will go and join the other camp of druids and prepare for what is to come. Should we watch for any premature lighting of the Wicker Giant, or
I don't believe so. Men like him like to make an appearance. It's all flashy and things. I think that we can wait.
so then you're not planning to disrupt by sabotaging the ritual?
I mean, we have the element of surprise. We can use that at our will. We weren't planning to use it beforehand, no. Unless you have other ideas.
No. I think it might be. I think you might be right to wait until the ritual commences. Then at least we will see how many more of these supposed Circle of the Scarlet Moon druids have been lured to the call by this Elizar.
Brog nods. He points to the camp to the south and says, "The camp with the bear. Those two are bad." Points to the northeast. That camp is bad, not human. And back to the northwest, also bad. They're likely to turn against us at the time when it comes.
And they nod and they say, "Well, thank you. We appreciate the warning."
All of our allies, other than you, are sharing the camp to the south. If you were to join us, we'd feel more appreciative.
And they will nod, and they will gather up what little they have. Being druids, they tend to travel extremely light, and they leave their tents up and everything, but they start making their way. They start making their way down the hill, and as they do begin making their way down the hill, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to this level.
What time is it, Yelly?
It's now getting to be mid-afternoon, and go ahead.
In the rest of the evening, I'm going to let them carry on. I'm going to go around. I'm going to gather their tents off this camp and the camp to the west with the lycanthropes. I'm going to carry them down to the camp to the south. However long that takes, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to, put their tents up around that campfire.
Okay. You start to do that, And while he's doing that, you other guys, do you have anything in particular that you want to be doing?
I'm just keeping a lookout, watching nervously, just waiting for it to pop off.
Okay. Well, then in that case, it's not long after your new friends all go and join the camp at the foot of the hill. It's not long before you all see a group of people approaching from the southeast. And these people approaching from the southeast, they all have a look about them that seems somewhat similar to the druids of the Scarlet Moon, or the Circle of the Scarlet Moon druids, but they don't quite look like druids, but they definitely look like they're somehow connected with this order. And they come walking into the camp or up to the hill. And then as a group, they sort of make their way up this hill towards the tower. And as they get up there, you see several people that, you have seen milling around. They come out and they start, some of the druids do come out and they start waving to these people, and they are greeted in return. And they all start to come up and they start to mill around. And as they do, you begin to notice more people coming out from the tower and coming out from these tents. And it starts to look like there's more of like a little hive of activity going on up here, as though maybe they are sort of getting closer to being ready to make preparations for this.
You can say a battle.
Yeah, you might interpret it as a battle, or you might interpret it as getting ready for a ritual. And yeah, a couple of you have had really, really good perception checks. And I'm going to say that one of the things that kind of is in the back of your mind, or kind of it tickles your senses every time you have one of these good perception checks, is there's an odor from the tower that kind of wafts down to you. And this odor is kind of a sulfurous odor, like sulfur burning kind of odor. And it's hard to place exactly where it's coming from, but it's coming from somewhere up at the top of the hill there. And so, yeah, Brock, over the course of maybe 2 hours or so, you're able to get these tents brought down. It's autumn, so it tends to start to get dark a little early, and now where these two camps where there's just kind of embers of their fire, and the tents are mostly taken down, and now there's more tents around this, and their fire that they're starting to build up down here is larger. And then as the sun goes down, as the sun goes down, a druid that is clearly one of the druids that you have seen before comes down, and I'm going to say that by this time, by the time you guys do that, would you be back at the camp with everybody else, or would you still be hanging around that other camp where you were?
We'd definitely be at the main camp.
Okay. All right. So this druid comes by and goes, "Oh, wonderful. Lovely to see you all here. Have any of you seen Gerelda, the fiddler? It's almost time for the ritual, and she was supposed to play, and I don't seem to see her. Do you all know where she is?"
I gave her some hunting tips earlier, and she took it upon herself to go hunting to provide for everyone. Who knows? She might be lost. She might be,
Oh dear. Well, Elizar will be disappointed that we don't have the music.
I'm sure she'll be back in time. I assure you.
Oh, well, I certainly hope so. All right. Well, thank you. And enjoy the ritual. We will be commencing within the hour. And she goes back up the hill. And okay, you kind of know now there's about an hour before this ritual is going to start. Anything that you guys want to do in that time in particular?
I want to look around. Is there any unnoticeable features, characters around? Do I know everyone here is to be true with who we basically recruited?
Yeah, everybody around your are in this lower camp down here, and it's kind of annoying me with the these tokens out of place. So I'm just going to grab these 3 tokens and bring them down here. With all of these. So, oh, hey, guess what? We have a Mulek and we have a Casper. Hey,
I'm
Jay.
here, guys. Hey.
Yeah. Welcome. Well, you're getting here just about in time for everything. I will let the others fill you in on what has happened, and you guys probably can do that throughout or through Discord, unless you've had a chance to be listening to what's been going on.
Just a little bit, but I'll
Okay.
catch up during the week.
Okay. Well, suffice to say that now this camp is a lot bigger because they've recruited people that they think of as allies. They have purposely avoided recruiting those that they either are not aware of or that they think may harbor ill will. And they've just learned that the ritual is about an hour away. And so, yes, getting back to Brock's question, everybody that you see around here are people that you recognize. None of them, there's nobody here that seems out of place. And the druids kind of they have Wiglaf and Sterol. They kind of have them sort of towards the center of their group. Kind of almost like they're surrounding them protectively, if you will. And the elk are there, and of course Rusty is there. And then at maybe 45 minutes after you talk to this druid, there is a horn that sounds. And
Can I do something?
Go ahead.
Can I do something during that hour break there was?
Sure.
I want to reach into my bag of tricks. I want to step kind of off to the side where I'm not in the middle of the party.
Okay.
And reach into my bag of tricks and reach in and throw a ball out.
Okay. And hey, guess what? Maverick is back.
Maverick shows up, and then I want to reach into my that bag. Did anyone do anything with the acorns that Milek had?
No, we didn't do anything with
The acorns or the pine cones?
Oh, pine cones. The pine cones.
No, they didn't do anything with those.
So what I would instruct Casper, I would have Casper come down, and I would instruct Casper to go back to those camps that we did not trust. And I'd have Casper go and fly and just discreetly drop pine cones at each of those camps.
Okay. Well, it's those camps are marked with X's, and so we'll just say that he's dropped pine cones there. All right, so that has all taken place during that time. And then from the top of the hill, a horn sounds. And this is not like a metallic trumpet type horn. This is sort of a kind of a ram's horn type of thing. If you've ever heard one of those, it's a very distinctive sound. And it's clearly a call, and it's 3 notes are played on this. And when that happens, you guys notice activity in some of the other camps, and the druids say, "Oh, that is the sign that they told us. They told us that." When the horn blows 3 times, that means the ritual is about to begin. And everybody here has kind of been clued in on whether you told them directly or whether some of the people that you clued in told them. They kind of look to you and they say, should we go forth and to avoid arousing suspicion, or do we want to hang back?
We go forth. We do not arouse suspicion, but we need to attack before he summons whatever beast he plans to summon.
Okay. So, you guys, I will let you guys sort of go ahead, and these 2 people, they will walk on either side of this bear. Brock, you know that this bear has a chain that was holding it to a stake. Apparently, they have pulled that chain off of the stake, but they are walking very close beside it, and you would imagine that they're close enough that like they're probably holding on to the chain and bringing the bear up with them.
I love that you mentioned that, because as Brock is walking down this road here, he's eye contact steady with the bear the whole time.
Okay, all right. And then from this camp over here, you notice these hooded figures. And yes, indeed, with these hooded figures, 2 wargs are walking with them, behind them. They don't appear to be on leads or anything. They just are following along like a family dog might, follow along people that are going somewhere. And so they kind of get up here in this area on this side. These guys sort of come up here. These 3 sort of go up, and they stand not too far away from these goblinoid folk. I guess this guy would. Whoops, I'm sorry. This guy is not going to be that close. He would be more over here. This guy would be here. So yeah. And these guys sort of just gather up here where they can all sort of see what's going on, where they sort of have line of sight to this large wooden construct. And so I'll let you all, as players, move yourselves and your companions up. Falliger, I presume you're going to leave Rusty down here. You're not going to take him up there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to move this check out of the way a little bit. So you guys go ahead and move your tokens up where you would want them to be.
To end, or like this is awkward because like we're moving down the road. Like, are we moving to the endpoint?
Well, you say you don't want to arouse suspicion by not being up there.
Yeah. We'll
So
groups to move in individually. Our group will move in first, I think.
yeah. That's what I was going to do. Is I was saying let you guys move up, and then I would place the other ones around. So the 4 of you and Mulek, if you're going to have Casper and Maverick go with you. And then Falliger, if you're going to go up there, that's fine. Or if Falliger is going to stay with Rusty, I suppose that's okay too. All right. Mulek, are you able, or James, are you able to move Mulek?
Sorry, I had to step away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me try to move. I would be towards the back.
Okay. All right. And if you want to be kind of towards the back, I can go ahead and move these.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you and Thaldor are right on the same square now, or at least it looks like it on the DM's machine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then,
and actually, before, as we're walking up, I'm going to come up to. I would walk next to Brock, and I would just double check this really quick. I would whisper a few words and touch his shoulder and say, I have just gifted you alacrity.
Brock flexes a bit and then looks at you and nods.
Okay, so now I'm going to let you guys kind of decide a little bit, or I'm going to say that unless you say otherwise, the druids are kind of going to deploy their elk so that they are sort of right where the elks could maybe give a well-placed horn to these guys holding the chain on the bear. And they're also kind of, well, no, this elk, he's not going to get that close to those warg. And so he'll kind of be over here. But then where would you like the other druids in your among your allies to be?
Stick one party on the left, one party on the right, so they're around people they're familiar with.
Okay, so 3 or 4 of them over here, and then we'll put 3 or 4 of them kind of over here. All right, they're kind of around this way, and then I guess one of the elk there, and one of the elk will be kind of over here as well. All right. So the there's kind of a milling around a little bit, and clearly they're trying to figure out, okay, I guess the music is not going to happen, so what do we do? And then they figure out whatever they're going to do, and Elizar Dryflagon. Oh, Elizar. Oh, Elizar. Where are you, Elizar Dryflagon? You are right here. You are going to come out here. He steps out of the thing, and he walks over here. And there's like a little platform that's right next to the Wicker Giant. And he steps up on that platform. And sorry to the folks on the stream. I just am recentering so they can see what's going on here. Elizar says, friends and brothers and sisters of the Circle of the Scarlet Moon, we are gathered here on this most auspicious occasion to remember and recreate the ritual of rebirth passed down from druids of old, the rite of the Wicker Giant. I see that we have many who have come from far and wide to participate. Know that you are welcome at our ceremony. And about the time that he finishes saying that, I would like I would like anyone who finds themselves within the area of this spell effect. Oh, shit. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, never mind. I know what just happened. Within the area of this spell effect, I would like you to make a saving throw, please. A dexterity saving throw.
I see. Well, I do see it right. It's a spell effect. I saw him cast it right. So
No, he
sorry.
did not cast any spells.
so Danger Sense.
What counts as the where we're in it?
Do you see where the white line is? If you are inside the white border, this is an effect that is
I
centered
got
on a point and has a 100-foot radius. So basically, it's almost everybody on the map.
So Danger
You
Sense
can-
doesn't take effect here. I didn't see it coming.
No.
Dex saving throw, you say?
Wow, the one thing I have high proficiency in is Dex, and I couldn't even get a higher roll than that.
And the this is created by an item, so the spell save DC is 15. Oh my god, all four of you failed.
I missed it by 1.
I got inspiration.
Okay,
I-
if you have inspiration,
We can use inspiration. I got inspiration too.
Oh, look, and then he gets the nat 20. Yeah, I don't have inspiration no more. I used it the other day.
okay, so those of you who failed, you are now prone as the entire hillside begins to shake
Oh,
like there's an earthquake.
I wasted it.
I told you guys this guy's no good.
And as it shakes, you begin to see scaffolding on that tower starts to fall, and little bits of stonework and plaster from the tower, they start to fall, and that whole effigy of the wicker giant there, that starts to rock crazily. And about half of the druids that are there, they're all looking around wondering, the ones up on the hill that are part of the ceremony, they're all wondering what's going on, and they're starting to fall down. And Elizar, he grabs hold of something. Otherwise, you think he would probably fall down. And this effect goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. So, no initiative yet because there's not a combat, but I am going to give each of you 3 rounds worth of actions. Actually, I'm not going to give that to you because we are at time. So we will start. We will start next session with you guys in the middle of this earthquake that appears to be just as much of a shock to the to Elizar and his followers as it is to everybody else. And we'll see what comes from that. All right, so viewers, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Chris, I played around on Sunday, and I eventually figured out what you were talking about. So, as I mentioned, I typically don't have the actual Twitch stream up on my computer while we are going, but I saw that, and I saw at the break tonight that we had quite a few people on. So thank you all very much. Whether you have been watching in your main window, or whether you have been enjoying other things and listening to us in the background, you being in the channel makes this a very fun event to do. All right, well, everybody, we appreciate it. Players, thank you guys for coming out. And before we sign off for the night, Michael, I know that you do a lot of fun things over on your channel. Between now and the time that we come back together next Thursday, anything in particular going on your channel that you want to let people know about?
Well, but hold on. I hate when it's on push to talk sometimes. No, so hopefully between now and Christmas, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I haven't made up my mind what I'm giving away yet, but it will be something.
Okay.
I have had people been buying my merch, which I really appreciate them doing. It helps grow my channel. It helps me out a lot. I will be playing more Fortnite. I'm not horrible at it. I'm actually pretty good. So I'll be playing more of that. I just got a new game today. I got Planet Zoo with all the expansions. Thank God for Steam sale. So I might be playing that. I've been playing Subnautica Below Zero. I've been playing a bunch of different games lately, but Fortnite's been a big one. So we will have fun. Come see me in the Thieves Guild, and let's have a good time.
All right, yes, and Michael's channel is Doors of Fear. You can look for that on Twitch, Twitch TV/Doors of Fear, and he is on my auto host list. He is one of 2 or 3 people that are at the top of that list, and I have it set so it hosts in order. So as long as nobody else is already live, if he goes live, usually you will see that hosted from my channel. And as for the others, do any of you have anything going on channels of your own or other social media platforms you want people to know about between now and next Thursday?
Just work, but don't miss next week. I promise you, it's going to be lit.
Yes, next week should be fun because we're having one of our great little cliffhangers here. And on this channel, if you want to see more of what we get up to here, you can come by Saturday evening at 7:30 p.m. I keep forgetting we're not at 7 anymore. 7:30 p.m. And we will do the Lost Mine of original D&D, where we are retelling the Lost Mine of Phandelver through the original D&D rules from back in the mid-1970s.
I hate to interrupt, Gabby. How many people have died so far in your campaign?
We've had 1 death, which has been amazing that we've only had 1 death. We've had 2 people that have gone down to 1 hit point. But one of the things that's saving them is actually the magic user. Because first level sleep and first level charm person in original D&D, they are no freaking joke.
No joke.
Yeah, first level sleep will literally put the entire battlefield of enemies to sleep because it operates not on hit points but on total hit dice. And so if you're up against a veritable army of orcs or goblins or kobolds, you can just knock out a whole slew of them. And the charm person, if you charm a powerful but not very smart creature and it fails its initial saving throw, it doesn't get another saving throw for a month. So you basically wind up having a big brute following you around for a month thinking you're its best friend. And so that means that magic users, even though they can't hit for shit and they are weak and they will go down like a ton of bricks if they get hit, they have ways of just changing the tide of battle. By
Unless
just
they fail that save, or unless the enemy
unless the enemy fails to save. Yeah.
Here's the question.
So that's
going by the original name thing too, like Wizard 1, Thief 1, or Fighter 1, or they actually have names?
Well, what I did, I just created a bunch of pre-generated characters because of the fact that I warned the players, okay, it's very likely that you guys will die. I don't want you investing a whole lot of time for first of all, it's a short campaign, so no sense in building a huge backstory for a short campaign, and then the likelihood of death being so high, we'll just do pre-generated, and they can give them whatever names they want. But they've all decided to name theirs.
I'm sorry, I'd have to go old school. I'd be like Wizard 1.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah,
you know,
it's exactly.
Fighter
Yeah,
1.
Magic User
Well,
One,
the
Fighter
beauty
One.
about that is like you do that generically, but then after session after session, you grow attached to that generated character. So
Yeah. So it's been fun that way. And then Sunday afternoon, Ken will be back with me in a game that we like to call the Walker of Waterdeep. That's a planeswalking 5e game.
Indeed. A lot of
Yeah,
fun. Come check it out. It's a lot more in depth. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out.
Yeah, we are right now in the plane of Kamigawa, which, yes, that is a plane out of the Magic the Gathering universe. And that's the whole point of this plane, or this game, is that we are traveling to different planes that come out of the Magic the Gathering lore, and all the creatures that they're fighting and all of the NPCs that they're meeting are actual creatures from Magic the Gathering instead of from the D&D Monster Manual. And so I've built custom stat blocks for all of those and everything, and we have a storyline that usually somehow is related to the official storyline of the plane, but not always, because not every plane has a storyline.
I love the Warforged in that game. He's so good.
What?
The Warforged in that game, I can't remember.
Adamant.
Adamant.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays it. He plays it very much like kind of an android.
Exactly.
He's takes everything very literally, and he doesn't understand the subtleties of human emotion very well. So he's he does that very well. He plays that very well. I think we have a strong cast in that. We have a strong cast in this game as well.
My character Oyo Husa is probably considers Adamant like his best friend. I've definitely known him the longest, which is weird. It's a very interesting relationship.
Yes, it's the monk and the monk and the Warforged. And then of course Monday night I have my one mic show on Twitch, the Monster Monday, where we detail the history of a monster out of D&D every week. And then every day of the week on my YouTube channel, you can find short form content that drops. And most of the time it's short form content. Sometimes it's a little longer if there's an in-depth history for something. But once again, we take a different aspect of D&D every day, and we look at it through the lens of how it entered the game and how it has evolved and changed until the present day. And I think having that kind of historical context is useful and fun and good for a DM, because it kind of gives you ideas when a player pitches something that's not strictly by the book in 5th edition. If you know how things have worked in the past, you have a little bit better starting point for going, oh, okay, well, I can see how I could tweak this and be true to the spirit of something that's existed in the game before. And then as long as you have fun doing it, it doesn't really matter if it's balanced for any game other than yours. And if you and your players are willing to try something and realize, oh, that's not balanced, well, we're going to tweak it, then that's fine too. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful week. I believe we're going to play next week. And then next week, I will definitely be polling the players, because 2 weeks from tonight is Christmas Eve. 3 weeks from tonight is New Year's Eve. So I'm going to find out from the players whether they want to play on Christmas Eve and or on New Year's Eve. If we skip one of those weeks, if we skip both of those weeks, but we will decide that next week. But I think we'll be back then. So, viewers, we love you. We appreciate you. Please be good. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of those that are important to you. And if you are medical professionals, we appreciate you being on the front lines of this crazy pandemic and
Absolutely.
taking care of everybody else. All right. We'll talk to you later. Take care, everyone. Good night.